I'm going to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
you.
Fly, on the team, touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Pregame nation, baby, it's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly, the podcast. And we can call a man dog, or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.
That hits a little bit differently on game day. That hits a little bit differently on week one. What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. And it is time for the Philadelphia Eagles to prove their worth. Well, maybe it's not time. We got about an hour and a half. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the pregame game show game. I don't know what I'm going to say, but this is going to be a different pregame than you guys are probably used to. I went ahead and I got some friends to help me along the way. So we added some segments. Brandon will be here. I am very excited, you guys, not only for this season and not only to see what the Philadelphia Eagles will be this year, but to see what this show is going to become. We've come a long way since the beginning of this show, where me and Brandon were doing call-ins, and me and Brandon were doing the pregame show and just kind of figuring our way out. We've come a long way, y'all, and it's mostly because of you. It's 95% y'all. It's 95% y'all. I worked a little bit. I give myself 5%, but it's mostly y'all. So I appreciate you guys so much. But without further ado, I want to get into just to talk about this game. We are going to have Brandon joining us very soon, most likely. But I want to just give my opinion, because a lot of this is going to be answering y'all questions, going over kind of the matchups and everything. But I just want to talk opinion first. There is no way in my mind that we should lose this game. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, while I'm a little bit nervous about their offseason, I'm a little bit nervous about what they did and what they didn't do, if I'm being blunt. But I think that this team has talent. I think that this coaching staff is hungry. I think they want to prove that they weren't just a mistake pick, almost like a la Doug Peterson, right? I have faith that this franchise made enough moves in the offseason to make us a competitive team, a real team. So with that said, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to hear what the fans were thinking. So I sent you guys my email and I told you guys to send me a couple videos. So the first segment that we're going to start doing on these pregame shows is just a fan sound off, I guess you can call it. So we have two people that sent me emails. It was the first two people that sent them yesterday. So I just went ahead and picked them. So we're going to get to that first.
What's up, Joe Castro? It's your boy MG Nas. Hey, man, look, here's some reasons why the Eagles are going to beat the Falcons on Sunday. Listen, man, the Falcons have a very, very questionable defense, and they have a lot of holes. So I think that our tight ends, Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, can really expose the weaknesses in their linebacking core. And then you got the run game with Miles Sanders. Hopefully Kenneth Gainwell can get involved, because I don't really see their Russian defense as a big threat to our Russian attack that we could bring. And then their secondary, honestly, is probably one of the worst in the league. So I think that Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, and Quez Watkins should have a big day. And on the defensive side of the ball, as long as we can contain Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts, we should be A-OK on the defensive side of the ball. And I think we will get a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan. We could get a few sacks in this game. But I think as long as we control the game offensively and defensively, we will beat the Atlanta Falcons this Sunday. Go Birds, baby.
What's going on, Eagles Nation? Hunter Doyle here from Inside the Eagles and Philly Insider Podcast. We're here, week one, Eagles-Falcons. I'm excited. I hope you're just as excited. And yeah, we're ready to get underway. So, look, I think the Birds are taking this one. I've got them winning 24-23 on a last-second field goal by Jake Elliott. I think he's going to have his confidence back. Look, I think the Eagles win this one just based off of the trenches alone. I mean, I think Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave and Milton Williams, I think, are going to eat on the interior, with Jalen Mayfield starting his first game, Matt Hennessy only starting his third career game, and I don't think Chris Lindstrom at right guard can do enough to contain those two without, or those three for that matter, without having too much help on the left side of him. Now, I think both those guys got potential at left guard and center, but I don't think they're quite ready for Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave yet. So I also think you're going to see Milton Williams move out to the edge. I think you're going to see us play with 4 defensive ends at a time and go with that NASCAR package. And yeah, I just think it's going to be tough no matter who's on the interior there. I think they're going to go double A gap like Mike Zimmer does a lot. And I think you're going to see them just really, really make it difficult on them. So on the other side of the ball, I just think our offensive line, other than Grady Jarrett, I really don't see too many threats there, to be honest. I think Dante Fowler is expected to have a bounce-back season, but I think that we're going to be able to push them into the second level so that Foye Olokun and Deion Jones, it won't even matter if they're able to get some run stops because our guys are going to be in there just getting to the second level immediately. So look, I think the Eagles are winning this one. I'm excited. Go Birds, run booby run, fly Eagles fly. Peace out, y'all.
Those were my guys, MG Nas and my guy Hunter Doyle from Philly Insider Podcast. So they gave us my opinion. I want to know in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys got us winning this game? What's your score prediction? Let us know throughout the show. Now, another segment that we wanted to add was there's so many Eagle content creators, so many great Eagles content creators, if I'm being honest. And I wanted to be able to kind of show them off a little bit, right? So what I want to do every week is I'm usually going to do one, and we got Brandon in the building. What's good, Brandon?
What's going on, man? It's game day.
It's almost that time. So like I was saying, like, listen, I want to do a content creator spotlight, right? So I want to bring on a content creator every week and I want to let them talk and see what they think. So this week we're going to do 2. So we got blessed with 2, but we're going to get right into that. So this is our content creator spotlight.
Round 1. Fight! 17-round bout starts in Atlanta. Versus the Falcons. Are you ready? I don't think you are. Do you understand? We are about to go in and silence all these haters. I don't want to hear about, oh, your coach is new. Nick Sirianni been waiting his whole life to coach this football team. I don't want to hear about, oh, Jalen's so young. Jalen Hurts took the B team and produced at a high level. I don't want to hear about Devontae Smith so small. Devontae Smith is the only Heisman Trophy winner at his position in the NFL right now. So all this hate will stop, and it starts game 1 versus the Falcons. The young guns are coming. It is Hurts season, and the rent is due. Are you ready, fans? Are you? Because I hear all this 6 and 7. I hear all this 8 and 9 wins. The Birds are destroying teams this year. And it will start in Atlanta, where I have our Birds going to the South. Offensive line, Mayberry, good luck with Cox, because he's about to tear you up. Your defensive line is suspect. Your offensive line is suspect. A.J. Terrell is not guarding nobody. You do have Deion Jones, who is a beast, but he is not, and I repeat, not slowing down this offense. Kyle Pitts, you are a rookie. Not in game 1, my guy. Not in game 1. Now, you guys do have Matty Ice, and you do have Calvin Ridley. But we have a guy by the name of Big Play Slate. And he is back to make some huge plays for our defense. So, Ridley, you might catch a couple. You're not going off, though. We don't have the sticks. Leave a man on the island defense no more. The Birds are coming, and we're coming hot. 31-10 is what Bird Game predicts. Anybody else got Anything to say about that? Come holla at me. Peace.
What's good, Eagles fans? This is your boy, Tone the Shields II from Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Atlanta Falcons in the A today, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Week 1, the season opener. And you guys, I'm ready and willing to take on all customers. Now, if we're going to win this game, if we have to get the victory, if we're going to get this victory, the running game needs to get off to an early start. Guys like Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell, they need to be extremely impactful and extremely intentional in the running game. Those guys need to take advantage of every opportunity they get. And having a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who's extremely mobile, can definitely force the linebackers of the Atlanta Falcons to come in and stack the box. And then that can leave things wide open for play action plays towards Devontae Smith or Jalen Reagor or Quez Watkins or Dallas Goedert. It's very important for the running game to start the game off strong and to just come out pounding. Miles Sanders, this is his opportunity as well to prove that he's a 3-down back. Nobody on the practice squad was brought up. Jordan Howard was not brought up. So it was important that Miles Sanders takes advantage of this opportunity to prove that he can be a quarter 1 all the way to quarter 4 running back. Next, defensive line must set the tone early on defense as well. Let's be honest. The Atlanta Falcons offensive line has really not been stout. They really haven't had the best reputation the past few years. And on top of that, they're dealing with injury on the interior. They're starting left guard, Josh Andrews, is on IR with a broken hand. And now they got a rookie in there who's going to pretty much try to pick up the slack, a guy that was drafted in the 3rd round. And he doesn't really have that much experience. So guys like Fletcher Cox, guys like Javon Hargrave should definitely be able to eat and take advantage of this. And then when you got guys like Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox in the center, that makes room for guys like Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Ryan Kerrigan to take advantage on the edge and just come in. It's going to be so important for us to push the offensive line into Matt Ryan's lap because he's a pocket quarterback. He's not mobile. You get him off his feet, you get him out of rhythm, and you're going to start seeing turnovers. You're going to start seeing him being out of rhythm with guys like Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. Now, that leads me to my 3rd point. The defensive line must disrupt Ryan's rhythm. We can't allow Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts to get off. Julio Jones is not there, and Julio Jones always demanded double coverage, sometimes even triple coverage, and that always left things easier for Calvin Ridley to get open. Now he's the number one wide receiver, and he has a guy Kyle Pitts backing him up. Let's see how Calvin Ridley can fare being the number 1 wide receiver, having that much attention on him. We saw what happened to Juju Smith-Schuster when Antonio Brown left, when he had to become the number 1 wide receiver. There was a learning curve, there was an adjustment, and it's always easier to be the best when you don't have anybody paying attention to you and you're lined up next to Julio Jones. So it's going to be extremely important for the defensive line to disrupt the rhythm of Matt Ryan so he can get in the rhythm with guys like Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. Last but not least, Jalen Hurts and the wide receivers have to get into that rhythm early. They got to show their chemistry very, very early. Those guys need to catch the ball, no drops. They need to be intentional with their routes. And it's going to be so important for Jalen Hurts to sit back in the pocket, really assess the situation, and really just make his reads. 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. If you don't see nothing there, get out of dodge and get the 10, 15-yard gain. This is going to be an electrifying game, you guys. And I have some predictions. Devontae Smith will score his first NFL touchdown. My second prediction, Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave will end the game with at least 1 sack apiece. My third prediction, Jalen Hurts will have 1 passing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown at minimum to end the game. And my score prediction, Eagles win 24-20. And it's straight like that, y'all. I'm your humble host, Tone the Shields II from Chalk It Up. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got charges to the game.
Keep on having my microphone on mute. We learning, we going as we go. But shout out to my guy Tone the Shield. Shout out to my guy BirdGang31 on those videos, man. So we're gonna do that every week. We're gonna have a different content creator. They're gonna come on, and Brandon's gonna keep coming in and out, messing up my overlays.
Phone call. I didn't want to interrupt Tone the Shields by coming in. I didn't know what would happen, so I was like, let me watch.
But all right, so now next we're gonna have the last one for now, and then we have 2 more later on in the show. My guy from Raw Sports Talk, my boy Chris, he knows his stuff when it comes to betting, and he basically is gonna come on here every week, give us his best bets. This week I think he gave us like 3 really good ones, and he threw in the Eagles one at the end. I don't know if you guys are gonna love what he says, but it is what it is. So we're gonna get to that one next, and then we're gonna talk, and me and Brandon are gonna kind of go over what we think about this Eagles game and this week, man. I mean, I'm excited. So let's get to this from Raw Sports Talk, man. He's gonna be calling it the Raw Report. So let's get into it, man.
What's up, everyone? I'm Chris. This is Raw Sports Talk, and this is going to be a betting edition. So I'm going to take my best 3 games of this NFL football Sunday, and we'll see how I do against the spread. So we're going to kick it off with the Buffalo Bills hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to get some hot and cold takes and fun facts against these teams. So as of right now, the Buffalo Bills are 6.5-point favorites. This line has continued to move because it was as high as 7.5. And the Steelers have a great following, and their fans love to bet them. So as of right now, as I said, the line is 6.5. So for the Pittsburgh side, these are some hot takes. The over is 4-0 in the Steelers' last 4 games. The over is 4-0 in the Steelers' last 4 games against the AFC. The Steelers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games of September. The Steelers always get off to a very strong start. The Steelers are 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 games as a road underdog. That's another good fun fact. And the over is 3-1-1 in September for the Steelers in their last 5 games. So now let's flip it over to the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills are 5-1 in their past 6 games against the spread. They are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games on turf. They are 5-1 in their last 6 games at home. They are 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 games overall, and the Bills are 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games as a home favorite. So basically what this is telling you is that these are 2 really good teams who are playing against each other. And now the smart money would be to take the Buffalo Bills. Now, for whatever the reason is, I know that Ben Roethlisberger didn't look like himself last year coming off of Tommy John surgery. I think that the Steelers' defense is something better than what the Bills are going to face this year, and that's probably a top 10 elite defense. They've just been great. So I'm going to roll with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The highest line right now that I've seen is 7.5, but even with the 6.5, I have a feeling this is going to be a 6-point game, and I'm going to take the Steelers in this game plus the 6. Then we're going to roll with the Minnesota Vikings and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, there's a lot of little fun facts in this particular game, and lo and behold, you wouldn't think of what it was, that the Vikings actually struggle in a lot of these categories. So let's go with some of the trending takes. The Vikings are 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. The Vikings are 0-5 in their last 5 games against the spread as a favorite. And the Vikings are 0-6 in their last 6 games on field turf. The over is 7-1 in the past 8 games for the Vikings on field turf, and the over is 4-1 in its last 5 games as the Vikings being a favorite. So that means that there is a lack of defense in these games. Then we switch it over to Cincinnati. Now, the under is 4-1 in the Bengals' last 5 games of September. The Bengals are 6-2 in their last 8 games against the spread on field turf. The under is 5-2-1 in the Bengals' last 8 games overall. And the Bengals are 5-2-1 against the spread in their last 8 games in week 1. Now, I understand that the Bengals have generally been a bad team and the spreads have been ridiculous. So when they're a 14-point underdog, it's really hard for them not to cover the spread. Now, this line is 3. It's a lot closer, so some of these trends are going to break. Now, I understand that the Bengals spend a lot of picks on defense to try to improve their defensive line because they have to attack guys like Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, and Ben Roethlisberger. But I have more faith in the camaraderie in the Minnesota Vikings with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook. I just think offensively that'll be too much for the Bengals to stop, especially for a new unit getting together. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings in week number 1 minus the 3 points. And last but not least, we have what I refer to as the Battle of the Birds. We have the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Jalen Hurts didn't take any snaps in the preseason, so I don't know what that says for the Philadelphia Eagles and what that offense is going to look like. Now, on the flip side, we have Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and now Kyle Pitts. Julio Jones is gone, but I don't think that will really make that much of a difference. He was kind of on and off the field for the Falcons last year. So now we get to see what's going to happen in this game. And I expect this to be a high-scoring game because neither one of these teams have a very good defense. Both of their defenses were Swiss cheese last year, and believe me, the Falcons can score with anybody. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. So the Eagles are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games as a road underdog. The Eagles are 0-6 against the spread in their last 6 games on the road. The Eagles are 1-9 in their last 10 games against the spread in September. So the Eagles have been struggling in the month of September, and for Eagles fans everywhere, I apologize, but I know that this is nothing new to you guys. Then the over is 4-1 in the Eagles' last 5 games in September, and the under is 6-2 in the Eagles' last 8 games on grass. Now, they give it these facts just because of the field conditions. And now let's flip it over to the Dirty Birds. So the Dirty Birds are 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games in week 1. Now, generally, they've been kicking off these games against the Saints and the Buccaneers, so it's understandable why they've been losing their first week 1 games. The Falcons are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games as a favorite. The Falcons are 1-4 in their last 5 games as a home favorite. Wouldn't you know that? And then the Falcons are 1-4 in their last 5 games in September. So what this is telling me is both of these teams have been struggling opening up the season to find their rhythm, and we know why. The Eagles have had their struggles with the offensive line. The Falcons have had their struggles with the defense. The Eagles have had their struggles with the defense. Now, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons just because I feel that there's a little bit more camaraderie and a little bit more chemistry. So I think that the Atlanta Falcons win this game -3.5, but one of these trends is bound to break. Let me know what you guys think, but those are my hot takes. Those are my 3. I have the Minnesota Vikings over the Cincinnati Bengals, -3. The Atlanta Falcons, -3.5 over the Philadelphia Eagles. And lastly, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers +6.5 or +7, whatever the highest line I can get against the Buffalo Bills. Let me know what you guys think.
All right, so a lot to take in there, but we are Philadelphia Eagles fans, so you know we're going to complain. All right, so let's move all this, spreads and all that. How are you feeling about the game, Brandon? It is time to get down to it. What are your thoughts? Are you ready for this week? Are we winning? What's going on, man? Let's just start it out. You're muted.
Why am I? Oh, there you go. We both hit it. I'm excited. I got the butterflies going in my stomach as if I'm about to go out there on game day and play. Like, this is exciting. It's all brand new. I mean, granted, I think we'd all be excited anyways because it's the start of the season. It's game 1. But it's like a whole new chapter for us Eagles fans. We don't have to worry is Wentz coming back. Is he going to be healthy this season? Is he going to kill it? Like, now we got a fresh, young quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who we talked about Devontae Smith winning the Heisman. This guy was also a Heisman finalist as well. And then we go ahead and we get a guy like Devontae Smith. We have the young coaching staff that seemed fired up, and they were trying to hold their cards back during preseason. So I'm very excited to see what this team's going to look like. What's this defense going to look like? What the offensive play calling is going to look like? Who's going to be utilized? Is Kenny Gainwell going to be the sneaky player to really show out to? Because I feel like they loved him in preseason, and he seems to have, as Miles Sanders says, the best hands in the backfield. So I'm just excited in general to see all the new things going on for our team.
Facts. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. I feel like we've been saying, or at least I've been saying, interesting all off season. That's been like the tone of almost every live that we've done. But it is going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see what we can become, but I do think that there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Right? We've had in my opinion, we've had a very weird offseason. Not a lot got done on the surface of things. Obviously, the joint practices have their own weight to them, I suppose. But do you really, how do I want to put this? Do you expect a lag? Do you expect any type of, a rust or whatever you want to call it? I don't even really know what to call it. Do you expect there to be a little bit of a drawback?
I want to stay like super positive and like be upbeat and like, let's go.
I got you. First question. That's how we're gonna do it.
Right. Someone said don't make any emo comments, but then you hit the question.
I'll lead you into it.
Because, I mean, the obvious answer to this, and it's going to be like, yeah, I mean, our offense, basically our starters didn't play that much this preseason. And on top of that, they lost a preseason game. So they only had 3 preseason games, and then they didn't really play them. Yes, they had the joint practices, and that's fine, well and good. But it's just that it hits different when it's game time, when you got fans screaming, when it's loud and everything like that, than just the reporters sitting there taking notes and taking pictures. Like, so it's going to be different. And the fact that Jalen Hurts, just like Raw City Sports said, he only played in the beginning, that first game, for like one or 2 drives, and that was it. That's all we saw of Jalen Hurts. And so, yeah, is there going to be some rust? Sure. I mean, even Tom Brady came out there on Thursday night, and it looked like he had the first game jitters before settling in. So I expect the same thing for like a Jalen Hurts. As long as it looks uniform, as long as it looks like, all right, these are solid play calls and everything like that. It looks like, all right, it just doesn't look like a mess. We should be good. I mean, I'll take the rust as long as it looks to be like it could be improved upon.
Yeah, facts. I think I'm looking for just like you said, just improvement. I think this whole season is really, that's all it can be looked at as. I mean, I want us to win every game, right? Everybody wants to go 17-0. I think that's the major goal, but it's not realistic. I just want to see some improvement. This game, I know you did a video, you did your own segment, which we're going to show in a little bit, basically going over the players that you were looking at. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of players that I'm sure a lot of people are looking at, but I want to ask you, coaching wise, what are you looking out of these coaches? Because we don't know anything about them either. We don't know anything about this staff really at all. So what are you looking for out of Jonathan Gannon, out of Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen? Is there something specific you're looking out, like as far as play calling goes, and just like the demeanor on the sidelines,
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and go on the defensive side of the ball. I think we made a lot last year at going at Jim Schwartz and wondering, when was he going to change it up? When was he going to do this? When was the adjustments going to happen? So I want to see what Jonathan Gannon, like during the preseason, I know like Nick Sirianni said, they were keeping it vanilla. They were keeping it basic. They didn't want to show all their cards in the preseason. So they ran a lot of zone in preseason, I feel like. And especially against the Patriots in the beginning, it felt like all the intermediate crossing routes were easy completions for Cam Newton, who got cut. So I want to see what Jonathan Gannon's going to do when the zone may not work for this team, or if they need to start switching up halftime, if it's a close game or whatnot. Like, what are the adjustments going to be made? Is he going to blitz more? Is he going to be conservative? Like, I want to see what kind of coach he's going to be. I mean, I know you're not going to pull out all your cards in game 1, but this is a big one. This is going to set the tone kind of, because we do have a tough 4-game schedule coming up between the next 4 weeks. And then it gets a little bit easier considering the teams that we play, since I think they're like non-playoff teams and stuff. But needless to say, it's still a tough 4-game stretch that we got going on. So I want to see what his adjustments are and see how the defense plays under him. If they're hyped up, you can tell. I know like last year, I think they were getting frustrated against the Seahawks, and they started like getting nitty gritty and wanted to fight everybody at the beginning of the game. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see like some energy. I want to see them try to be like the bullies. I want to see Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave really in the trenches and getting messing with the offensive line and having big plays, like maybe even follow Calvin Ridley around and stick to him and stuff like that. Because Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, they might get their catches, but as long as we keep them underneath, like when DK Metcalf had all those yards last year. Just have them have modest plays, because I mean, those are playmakers. They'll get the ball, but keep it modest.
Yeah, facts. And I mean, we've seen the Falcons, I think, are a prime example. Just like you said, we've let people beat us. We've let people kill us in the air game, especially in the passing game, as far as wide receivers go. So if Calvin Ridley's going to beat you up, Calvin Ridley's going to beat you up. That's fine. Just don't let it become a cancer where everything spreads and nobody else can cover their man, because now they just got Calvin Ridley. He's going to get a touch. Like you said, it's a mental thing. So you got to get. And to speak on that, a little bit, go back on Jalen Hurts a little bit. As he said, we only saw him for that first game, for a couple of series, but we did see him pass like almost damn near every down that he was out there, right? So it's like, I want to see, it'll be very interesting to see if he just throws caution at the wind and says, I trust Jalen to make the best decisions, how much control he'll have at the line between, you know, making it a pass play and a run play. So there's a lot to watch out of this coaching staff. I'll probably be keyed on Gannon a little bit more just because, like I've said before, I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. So I want to see how he's going to act on the side. I want to see some, on the sideline. I want to see some Miami, turnover chain type, vibes. Like, that's what I want. I want to see this team more like I don't want to say like a high school team, but like, just that energy. Like you said, just bring that energy and have fun playing. So, like, obviously win the game, but I want to see that energy. I don't think that one is completely exclusive to the other, but I think it can help. I think having that energy can definitely help you win games in this league. So I want to see that happen. Now we have a lot of different people saying a lot of different scores. Do you have the game in Connecticut?
Yes. I have been fortunate that the last couple of years opening day has been televised where I don't have to stream it or anything like that, where I can just watch it without glitches. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I have it out here. Somebody said that they're in Tampa. Yeah, Drew said he's in Tampa and he doesn't get it. I'm in Tampa and I'm getting it. So I mean, I'm getting it on YouTube TV, but I'm going to anywhere. I'm going somewhere else. Anyways, back to football. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Now I do want to talk about a little bit about specifics about this defense, right? And how it matches up against this Atlanta offense. I had Andrew DeCecco on here the other day, and he was basically talking about how he thought it would be a group effort for the secondary. Doesn't really see a lot of man-on-man happening. Would you tend to agree with that? Do you think that it's going to be a lot of – I know we're a zone-based scheme as far as defense goes, or at least that's what they're predicting. But do you think that they're going to give Darius Slay that freedom to say, hey, I want to go follow Calvin Ridley, or if Kyle Pitts is going crazy? What are your thoughts on that? What would you do?
Yeah, I do like zone. I mean, as long as you know what you're doing, zone defense can be your best friend in a sense. Just because man defense, especially with shifty wide receivers, slant routes and sluggos, slant and goes, where you think they're running a slant, they just take off. And that's what guys like Jalen Mills was getting beat up on all the time. So each defense has its poison and its benefits, but I want to see Darius Slay be able to follow Calvin Ridley, at least for the majority of the game. I'm not saying every single defensive play he needs to, depending on what they're running, or obviously if it's goal line, stuff like that. But I want to see the guy that we were all hyped on, that was supposed to be our cornerback number one. I mean, he played solid last year despite the team in itself. When the team stinks, you think everyone stinks, but he actually played pretty solid outside of a couple games. So I want to see him be that true number one. I know he's getting a little bit up there in age, and that's why I'm saying not to have him go all the time and trying to run man the whole entire game. The guy's probably going to get tired. So I want to see a little bit of a mix, but I do want to see him follow Calvin Ridley around a little bit. Which also
that's what I want.
Blocking Kyle Pitts too. I mean, guarding him. Then you can have some of your other guys worry about that, and you focus one player on one player.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I think that's the best idea, is to actually go let Slay earn that money. I know he took a pay cut. He took a restructure this year, bringing his money down a little bit on the cap hit. That's cool. But next year, you're bound to make about 20-something mil down, on the cap. And I know I keep saying this, but it's a big number. So I'm not trying to see that happen if you're not tested. And I think that this is a perfect test for you to go out there week one and just follow Calvin Ridley. Or, like I said, if it becomes a Kyle Pitts show and Calvin Ridley's not doing anything, then you go move over to Kyle Pitts. But you have to prove that you can lock somebody down. And I understand, like, the defensive coaches might want to just say, it's about my scheme. It's not about the individual player. But when you're paying that much money to somebody, it becomes about that individual player. So, like you said it perfectly, the zone can be your best friend in a sense sometimes, especially with this defensive line. If this defensive line is getting home within 3 seconds, 2.5, under 4 seconds every time, it's going to be tough, because you're not going to have an immediate hole with a zone type coverage. So I think that will be their best friend, but I want to see Darius Slay go out there and do his damn thing, because you got to earn that money, man. You got to earn that money. Now, let's go over to the other side, talking about these wide receivers. Now, we obviously have Devontae Smith. We obviously have, J-Jaw, your boy. we got Quez Watkins, we got Greg Ward, we got Jalen Reagor, we got a whole squad, right? And then we have these tight ends. What are your expectations for this wide receiving core? Are you expecting them to go off this week, or are they going to probably be maybe the most affected by the rust? How do you feel about it?
I think that as much as we want Devontae Smith to go off this week, I do think first game, Jalen Hurts hasn't played a lot. I think it's going to be a little tight end heavy where a lot of throws to the tight ends to Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. The fact that we have them both out there, that's only a benefit to us. And Zach appears like he wants to be here. He wants to play. He wants to retire in Philly. Now, that just might be just saving face for next season for when he's trying to re-sign either with us or look for different teams. So it looks like he's a team player. But needless to say, he still needs to go out there and earn it. He needs to show that he's not getting old, that he can keep up in this league and be one of those guys that can play tight end until he's 34, 35, 36 years old. So I think he's going to go out there hungry. And so that's only going to benefit us, because when you have a super solid Zach Ertz, who is one of those guys that's kind of like a sure hands type of dude, he's not going to get you all the yak, but he's going to hit that soft spot in the zone and get open for first downs. And then you got Dallas Goedert, who's the kind of like the opposite. He's the one that can get you the yak, the one that can do the spin moves and break tackles and keep it moving. So I think it's going to be a tight end heavy kind of day. And I'm assuming the running backs are really going to play a part in this too today. So as much as I want to see guys like Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith kill it today, and if they do, that's awesome. I'll be cheering my ass off. But I do think it's going to be a tight end heavy kind of day.
Facts, yeah. And look, we've talked a lot about Jalen Hurts this offseason, rightfully so. He's a big part of this offense, but like you said, he has a lot of weapons around him, and I feel like our wide receiving core isn't what we think it is. Even if our running backs aren't the greatest in the world, I think the combination of them added to the tight ends is enough. I think that we'll do enough. You know what I'm saying? It'll do enough for us to win. So I'm excited. I really do think that we're going to put up some points. I think that this Falcons defense is nothing to really be I went on that show the other day with the deluded Falcons fan. That was crazy, but I'm afraid of that secondary. There's nothing in that secondary that says to me that they'll be able to consistently stop everyone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can shut down Quez. Maybe you don't.
Uh-oh. We're losing Joe real quick. Must be that Florida Wi-Fi. Uh-oh. Well, yeah. So if you guys didn't see, you guys got to go ahead. Let me try to back up into one of these squares here. You guys got to go ahead and check out that video that Joe posted with that delusional Falcons fan. That guy, he was going back and forth. And there was one point that Joe recognized. He's like, yo, your guys' passing is your look. That's what you guys are known for, is the passing. And he's like, no, we got a new coach. And then as soon as Joe said one thing, he's like, but what about Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan's a top 5 quarterback. Like, that makes no sense. Matt Ryan hasn't been a top 5 quarterback since he probably won MVP and lost in the Super Bowl. So he hasn't been a top 5 quarterback. Yeah, Matt Ryan is someone that we got to watch out for. But I think this defensive line is going to be part of the key. I mean, we're going to need that pass rush from Javon Hargrave, from Fletcher Cox, and from, Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat should go out there and eat today, hopefully. But I think we got Joe back in here. I see the little guest. There we go.
Yeah, you gotta love Florida internet, man.
I said it must be that Florida Wi-Fi. Then I started going on a rant how that dude from Atlanta was just talking
diluted, bro. But no, yeah. So what I was saying, you might be able to stop one or two of these guys. You might be able to hold them down for a little while, but you're not doing it all game. I have no fear in my heart of this secondary at all. But with that said, I do want to get into your pregame speech. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a speech, but your 2 players to watch for. This is going to be something, again, that you're going to be doing weekly for the pregame show. Do you want to say anything about it before we show it?
No, I just picked 2 players that I'm going to be keeping an eye out for. You guys can join me too. And then also just leave us in the comments who you guys are going to be watching out for. And then either tonight or tomorrow, I'll discuss like what I saw from the 2 players that I picked each week.
Yes, sir. All right. So we're going to get into it, man. We got to come up with a name for this, but I'm sure y'all can make up a name for it if you want. But yeah, let's get into it.
It's here, y'all. Finally, it's game day. And I had to rock the Dawkins jersey. It's game day. Can only do it right. This video doesn't need an introduction. Let's go! What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Brandon here on Philly the podcast. And yes, it's finally game day. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about two players, one on the offense, one on the defensive side of the ball, that I'm going to be focusing on this game against the Falcons. And then come Monday, I will go ahead and, talk about what I saw out of them, see if they played well, see if they struggled a little bit. Those will be the two players that I'll go ahead and highlight. Now, the first player on offense, it could be an easy one. As we all know, Jordan Mailata went ahead and got his contract. This dude got paid, especially for maybe it's not like world money for a left tackle, premier one, but the fact that this guy never played football before, came in, and 3 years later is getting a 4-year, $80 million contract, that's insane. Hopefully, hey, this could have been the steal of the draft, someone that, those hidden gems in the 7th round. So, but I'm not going to go ahead and highlight on him. I feel like everybody is going to go ahead, have their eyes on Jordan Mailata, try to see how he's doing. But instead, I'm actually going to go with another offensive lineman, but I'm going to go with a veteran, and I'm going to go with Brandon Brooks. The reason why I'm choosing Brandon Brooks is because he hasn't played a meaningful snap or hasn't played a meaningful game since, I believe, what was it, the Giants game maybe 2 years ago when I think it was a special teams play, a field goal, and he ended up separating his shoulder or something along those lines. And we ended up losing him for that season, the year we made the playoffs, beating the Giants that game, if I'm not mistaken. And then come next season, he tore his Achilles before the season even started. So this guy hasn't played a meaningful game in almost a year and a half. So Brandon Brooks, although he is one of the best, if not the best right guard in the game, when healthy, when on all points, I'm definitely interested to see how he does in his first game back. Those first game jitters, he does have that anxiety where he says he throws up before every game and everything. I want to see how he's able to handle his mental health and then come out there and really perform and really be one of those leaders on the offensive line. Because the only way that Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders are going to do great this year is if this offensive line is strong. And that starts off with Brandon Brooks and then obviously Lane and Jason Kelce. But I feel like Brandon Brooks is my guy that I want to focus on and see how he does this game. And let's see if he is one of those showstoppers that no one's getting past him, or is he going to look a little rusty and it's just like, all right, it's his first game back. He's getting his feet underneath him and he's like, all right, these guys are fast again. Let's get back at it. But, going against guys like Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave in practice can only help him. So that's my offensive guy. On defense, I'm going to go ahead and go with Steven Nelson. I think, obviously, that might be an easy one, too. Other people might choose someone on linebackers or something like that. But I'm going to go Steven Nelson because we've needed a second corner. Like Joe has been saying throughout his lives and everything like that, we don't need him to be this world beater. We don't need him to be basically a 1A corner. Like, we just need him to be the number 2 corner, someone that can hold their own and not have just be targeted and focused on and getting beat up on all game. So I definitely want to check him out. And on top of that, we're missing Riley McLeod. So we're definitely going to have that lack of safety depth. So the corners are going to really need to step up and not rely on having a safety over the top and everything like that. Like, obviously, different zone packages and stuff like that. But we're going to need these corners to show out. And I think that Steven Nelson is one of those guys that we really need to see. I mean, we've seen some of the practices where he has been getting beat. We have seen in games that, he wasn't really focused on, because when Darius Slay wasn't playing, guys like McPherson and others were the ones getting Jaquette were getting the focus on them, and they were kind of getting beat up. And Steven Nelson, he was getting out there, but we've seen in practice where he has been getting beat, and we saw him last year. Even when we played the Steelers, some of our wide receivers were able to get past him and kind of bully him a little bit. So definitely keeping my eye out on Steven Nelson, seeing if he is the corner 2 that we needed, or are we going to be into some trouble where he's getting beat all the time and then we're going to be switching Maddox and all the younger guys. And I don't know. Hopefully that's why he's my second focal player. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on two veterans in a sense. You're going to go with Brandon Brooks on offense, and we're going to go Steven Nelson on defense. Now, in the comments, who do you guys think? What do you guys think? Who are you guys focusing on? Who is your highlighted players that you think that you're going to really want to see? Is it going to be Jalen Hurts? I mean, that's another easy one. Miles Sanders, or one of the linebackers, maybe Alex Singleton. Is he going to be able to pass coverage? Eric Wilson, he's new. Anthony Harris, he's new. So let us know who you guys are focusing on this game. And hey, it is game day.
Yes, sir. All right. So Brandon has spoken. So we got one more segment that we're going to get into. And then the last half hour, we're going to go over some predictions of the whole NFL slate. Because we did it last year, we kept making ourselves look dumb. We're going to do it again this year, and then we're gonna talk this Eagles game and give you our score predictions. The score prediction's been behind me the whole time. I don't know if you guys see it. I'm trying to cover it with my big ass head. I don't know if I am able to, but either way, we're gonna talk this score. But last but not least, I want to. Y'all know him already. Y'all know my guy, Swerve. But he is going to do a segment called Sipping with Swerve. So he wakes up, he has his beer in the morning because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? And he just talks that talk about why the Eagles are going to beat the Atlanta Falcons. So this is going to be the last one, and then me and Brandon are going to get it in, and we're going to talk about what we think for this week, man.
Good evening. Welcome to Philly, the podcast. It's me, your boy Simply Swerve, up on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. My favorite time of the year, opening day around the league. The time of the year where every team has hope, unless you're a Jaguars fan or Texans fan, maybe a Giants fan. I don't know. You know, the time where everybody believes their team could win. Again, unless you're a Jacksonville fan or a Texans fan. But the Texans played Jacksonville Jaguars today, so one of y'all should have a winning record after today. You know who has the worst record in the league right now? Dallas Cowboys. It's always a good thing. Always a wonderful thing when Dallas is in last place. Last place of the 32. They're 32 out of 32. But anyway, that's not what I'm here for today. We're not going to bash the Cowboys. We're going to talk why the Eagles should beat the Falcons. Number one, the Eagles should dominate this game in the trenches. Offensive line is healthy. They should be able to run the ball whenever they want. Falcons move very well vertically. No, I'm sorry, horizontally. The Falcons move very well horizontally defensively. But vertically, you can run out. So get the north and south running game going. We don't need anything fancy. We don't need to run those sweeps. Stay in between the tackles. Pound the Falcons. Make them pay. They light in the ass. They really light. So I believe that we can get Miles going. You're going to see a little Boston Scott. I think you should see a little Jalen Hurts running the ball between the tackles today. So that's the first reason why the Eagles can beat the Falcons. The Eagles can control the trenches on offense. And you have Fletcher Cox, who's some say have fallen off, but I think he's out to prove that he's still the second best defensive tackle in the league. So if Fletcher's on his game, nobody on that Atlanta line should be able to deal with him today. He's a handful. So the Eagles can control the trenches, pound the ball, get Jalen Hurts going, get Miles Sanders going. I expect Jalen Hurts to have about 55, 60 rushing yards today. But they get that run game going early, and this is the second reason. After they establish the run game, you then can go to the play action off of the run, and we will get to see Jalen Hurts' development. We're going to watch this play-by-play, step-by-step. I think today you see Jalen Hurts is more than just a guy who makes plays off the scramble. I think you see Jalen Hurts make some plays in the pocket, and I think he shows the world that, hey, I'm a legit QB1, and I think he's going to do that today. Third reason is the defensive line. Again, with back on the trenches, everything I've said has to do about the trenches, but if the trenches are playing well, then that means we get the reemergence of big play Slay, who didn't have a great year last year, but he wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the Slay we were used to seeing. But I think Slay makes a play today. Defense gets a turnover. Gets some pressure on Matty Ice. You know what he does when he feels the pressure. He's not the most mobile guy. I think I think right now in my conditions I could probably beat him in a 40. But you make Matty Ice uncomfortable. You force him to throw a ball away early, and I think Slay locks up on Ridley, and we get to see how good Ridley is without Julio there on the side. Number 4, I was at a Falcons game a few years back, and they stole all my friends' stuff. They stole me and my friends' stuff. So until we get our luggage back, until the city of Atlanta does right by us, the Falcons will never win it. I need my own guy shirt. I need my own guy shirt. I need my car keys. We need our car keys back. We all had to get new car keys made. Y'all stole our wardrobe. I need my polo sweats. I need all that back, city of Atlanta. So until the city of Atlanta returns our stuff that was stolen to us when we last attended a Falcons game, I think that was two or 3 years ago. We attended the Falcons game, Sunday night game where Aguilar dropped the ball a couple times. Yeah, and we got our luggage stolen. We got our luggage stolen on the way to the airport when we stopped for breakfast. So until we get our stuff back, until the city of Atlanta, until Atlanta does right by us, the Falcons won't beat the Eagles. Sirianni's debut, we're gonna go down there. We're gonna fry them dirty birds. We're gonna put up more points than y'all expect. We're gonna put up a lot of points today. We're not worried about Atlanta. They stole our stuff. They're not even a good bird. Like nobody wants to get shot. Who wants to get shot? Nobody wants to get shot. So that was three or four reasons why we're gonna beat the Falcons today. I'm gonna let y'all know every week. Give y'all 3 or 4 reasons why we're gonna beat the opponent. Because we're the Eagles and nobody expects us to win. We're gonna be slept on. We under everybody's radar. Today we're gonna go show Atlanta why we the better bird. Lock up Kyle Pitts. I don't think they should be able to establish much of a run. So we're gonna make Matty Ice throw 40, 50 times. And if he throw 40, 50 times, he's gonna throw 3 or 4 of them to the wrong color. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. On our end, keep Jalen Hurts attempts to under 25. Let him manage the game. Stay out of 3rd and long. We should get out of there with a win. It don't got to be cute. A win is a win. I expect Jalen Hurts to have about 225, 230 yards total. Miles Sanders, 100 yards total, passing and rushing, but I think more of it will be from the pass. Get back to the screen game because Atlanta's real susceptible to the screen, too. So we get back to the screen game, establish the run. Boom, we should put up about 24, 27 points on these fools. Eagles start off the season with a W. I get to go to work happy. Everybody's happy. That's how it's going to go. Thank y'all for joining Philly the podcast. Thank you for sipping with Swerve. It's beautiful Sunday morning. And remember, you can't day drink if you don't start in the day. Go Birds!
I love Mark. That man is hilarious. So we are officially 31-ish minutes away from kickoff, Brandon. It is about that time. So what I want to do before we give our prediction for the Falcons game, obviously, I want to go over 3 other games. Now, usually we're going to go over just division games, but obviously one of our division rivals already took that mighty L. So they did the job for us. So we already knew what happened there. But let's talk about the other guys. And I'm going to throw in a surprise team just because why not, right? So the games that we're going to be seeing in the division is Washington versus the Chargers at 1 o'clock. And then at 4:25, you got the Broncos versus the Giants. Who do you got in those games and why?
So the first one with Washington, I'm going to take the Chargers on that. Not because it's the Washington football team, but because the Chargers are actually kind of good. And the fact that they're going into this season healthy, they're always hurt. They're star players. I feel like going into every season, someone gets hurt. And this year, they finally have everyone healthy. They have Mike Williams healthy. They have Derwin James healthy. They had a scare with Austin Eckler, but he's actually playing today. I got the notification. So they have everyone healthy. And then Justin Herbert, unless he takes some second-year fall, that kid was going places last year. This dude was throwing the rock as if he's been in the league for 5 years. So if they can play the way that they've played in the past, that should be a game where they should win this one. Washington's defense is solid. They do have a really good defensive line, but I feel like they lost Ronald Darby. They're susceptible to the pass as well. So if they're going to go pass heavy, especially with screens and stuff like that, I see the Chargers winning this game. And then I just don't know about Washington's offense. Fitzpatrick, is he going to be the air it out, I'm going to hit everything today? Or is he going to be the gambler where he throws 4 touchdowns with like 4 interceptions as well? So we'll see which one we get. And I don't even think Curtis Samuel's playing. I think he's on IR, actually.
Yeah, they put him on IR. Crazy.
Yeah, the one of their free agent pickups that was supposed to help Scary Terry is not even there now. So now it's just Terry McLaurin and other dudes. So I have the Chargers winning that game. And then I do think the Giants could beat the Broncos. The Broncos, they're getting Von Miller back. They have a healthier defense, and their offense is pretty solid with weapons. But the Giants do have a solid defense as well. It's all going to depend on Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Those two players need to show out. They got new weapons for Daniel Jones. So is he going to be able to hold on to the ball, not trip himself, and go ahead and throw dimes to Kenny Galladay and everything like that? So it's going to depend on him. And then it's Saquon. Is he going to look healthy? Is he going to have that burst that he's always had? Is he going to be able to break tackles, screen game, all of that? So I do think out of those two, I do think the Giants could get a win out of there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be on the same boat with you and many of the same reasons. Blatantly, I'm not gonna make it too long. The Washington Redskins, the Washington football team, excuse me, they just don't have the offense, I feel, to keep up with the Chargers. Plain and simple. I just think it's cut and dry. They have a good defense, not enough offense. Right. Same can be said with the Giants. I think the Giants have just enough offense. I don't think that they have a great offense, but I really don't think that the Broncos have much of any offense to speak of, to be real. So I think that, Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is supposed to be their starter, so maybe he does something. But I have no faith in the Broncos offense, to be 100% honest. And if something is to happen to Teddy Bridgewater, I don't have any faith in Drew Lock unless it's like a hip hop, karaoke night or something like that. He can do that. If you got to sing, Jeezy Put On, I got mad faith in him. But other than that, I don't really think that offense has anything. So I do see the Giants winning, but I do see Washington losing. Now, the game that I wanted to add in that was maybe not a surprise to many people, it still holds weight in Philadelphia as much as people don't want it to, is the Colts game, right? So the Colts are playing, let me make sure, the Seahawks. We could not beat the Seahawks. If Carson Wentz goes over to Indianapolis and they blow out the Seahawks, I'm going to be pissed. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that they'll beat them? Do you think what type of game are you thinking this is going to be?
I know Infamous is all probably hyped up right now. I saw him in the comments saying some slanderish things, saying that he's more excited for that game. But like you just said, bro, that would have been my exact point. Carson goes to a new team and has to play essentially his Achilles heel the first week of the season. We could not beat Seattle for the life of us with Carson Wentz for some reason. He has that one highlight throw against Seattle that always gets put together, and yet we lost that game. And I think we lost it by a decent amount of points as well. That one throw where floats over and it gets to, I think, Nelson or whoever. Needless to say, it was a cool throw, but we lost the game. And we lose we lost every time. So if he goes over there, like you said, and wins, oh, God, it'd just be another like an FU Carson. It'd just be so annoying. But I do think the Seahawks do tend to start off strong. I do think they tend to start off strong. Russell Wilson, fresh off the offseason, him and Tyler Lockett with DK Metcalf, they have a great connection there with Chris Carson running the ball healthy. I do think the Seahawks can win that game. It'll be up to their defense. Their defense slacks at times. And I don't know. I'm going to go with the Seahawks on that one. Nothing against Carson or anything like that at this point. I really don't care. But I do think the Seahawks do have the better team, in my opinion.
Facts. Yeah, something against Carson, in my opinion. I'm going to say they're going to lose. I think that they're going to get smacked. I'm hoping that he stays healthy. That's the only thing I'm worried about right now. They are a 1:00 game too.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have my eye on both of them. I can't wait. I really hope that everything goes the exact opposite of what they thought. I hope that Carson Wentz is absolute garbage and that the Eagles are absolutely great with Jalen Hurts. That's what I'm on right now. I told you, Brandon, you know me. I get the closer that the season gets, the more unrealistic I get. So I'm throwing all my chips in. I don't care. We're winning this game. Now, 24 minutes till kickoff. 24 minutes until kickoff. It is real in the field. We are about to take on the Dirty Birds. We're going to clean them up a little bit. So, I mean, where do we even start? I guess let's just start. What are your thoughts? Yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you think that is going to be an offensive game? You think it's going to be a defensive? Like, what type of game are you expecting? What do you think our Birds are going to come out looking like?
I just remember last year we came out on fire. And then everything crumbled before our eyes, and who knew that it was going to last the season? So I'm hoping, because like you said, we got to be realistic. We're not going to go 17-0. But what you want to see is, like, if you do lose again, you're not losing it by 1,000 mistakes. You're not losing it where you're up by 14, 17 points, and then you lose the game like that. Like, that's stuff that you don't want to see. You'd rather see, like, a loss that's a close game that you're like, oh, okay, if they made this adjustment here or there, like, we'll be good. It'll be fine next week, whatever. So I definitely don't want to see them crumbling before our eyes again or anything like that. But I do think, because it's week one, it's hard to say, because typically I would go defense, right? Because typically the offense needs to kind of get it together on both sides. Everyone kind of has to gel, see what they both have new coaches. Everyone is kind of going in this fresh. The only veteran really is Matt Ryan, who's been here for a minute, but their team's different from Matt Ryan's heyday. So they don't have the Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman tandem. They don't have Julio anymore. The reason why we lost that game against the Falcons, I think even last time, was because of Julio. It's because Julio had that screen pass and we couldn't tackle him, and he sprinted like 60 yards for a touchdown. So they don't have that this year. And we play the Falcons tough almost pretty much every time. So I do think it'll be a defensive game. Our games with the Falcons haven't been super high scoring, at least as of lately. They haven't been in the 30s or anything like that. So I assume that trend is going to keep going, even though it's new coaches. So I'm going to keep it in a nice tight race there. Defense.
Yeah, we blowing them out. Listen, man, I don't care. We are going to go out there, and defensively, we're better at every position outside of linebacker. I'll give them the linebacker position. Our defensive line's better than theirs. And I'll even be more realistic, because, our defensive line doesn't play their defensive line. Our defensive line is far and ahead, way better than their offensive line is, especially right now with the injuries. Our linebacking cores should tear up this running game. I think Mike Davis has not proven that he can be a number one guy throughout a season. He's not proven realistically that he could be. I mean, he had a couple good games, but realistically, they're asking a lot out of this man, especially against a team like ours. I don't see them getting a running game going at all. Not even close. I don't see their secondary doing anything at all. Our secondary, I don't see that they're. Let me be realistic. I started thinking of our secondary. Let me reel that back in real quick. I think that their passing game will probably tear us up a little bit. They'll like he said, that Fletcher Cox is definitely going to baptize their O-lineman, but I think that Calvin Ridley might maybe not baptize, but he's going to teach some of our cornerbacks a thing or two, especially if we start getting deep into our cornerbacks. We saw what happened with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they had one injury at that cornerback spot. So if that happens with us, I do not feel confident. I love Zach McPherson, that's really bad. I don't even know the other guy's name, really. So, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm excited about that. But other than that, I think our front seven is miles ahead of what this Atlanta Falcons offense can produce. Obviously, the passing game is the only thing that can probably really tear us up. On the offensive side, I don't see them keeping up with us. They are fast, you know what I'm saying? But if you keep getting punched in the mouth by 300, 400-pound offensive linemen like Jordan Mailata, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, Kelsey, Isaac Seumalo, how fast are you really going to run to go get your tail knocked off, right? What's the point if you run an extra 5 miles an hour and you still end up on your butt? So I'm not really afraid of anything that this defense can do against my Philadelphia Eagles offense. I love what this running game can be. I love what this offensive line is. I don't want to sit here and act like I know everything about Jalen Hurts because I don't. I think that he's going to prove to us a lot of things. And, this is his moment. This is his time, man. He's been waiting for this all off season. We've been waiting for this all off season for him to prove what he is. Today, we're going to figure out whether or not this season is going to be a long one or a fun one. Like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, with all that said, I definitely see us winning. As you guys can see, I got an Eagles 24, Falcons 10, and that 10 took me a lot to.
It's that Florida Wi-Fi. It just keeps going out. So Joe will come back. He'll talk about his score and probably about like T-minus 2 minutes. So he had 24-10. I know it's getting closer to game day. I'll back up again, try to get into one of these squares. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go say the score. We're going to end up winning. But I think we're going to win 17-14. I think it's going to be one of those nail biters. Like I said, the last couple years when we played the Falcons, it has been close games. It hasn't been high-scoring games. It is the first game of the season, so we saw with Tampa Bay and Dallas, they were able to get up there in points. But I think for two brand-new head coaches with their new teams and everything, I'm going to go ahead and say our score is going to be 17-14, Eagles win.
Yeah, YouTube is ran by a Falcons fan. I'm putting it out there right now. Falcons fans run YouTube, but that's fine, bro. That's fine. They keep trying to kick me out when I'm spitting facts. I'm spitting facts. I'm sorry, but yeah, I hate this internet, man. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is.
You got to finish what you were saying. I told him that you were going to do that once he came back.
Oh, yeah, no. So, like I said, man, the Eagles are definitely going to beat these boys. 24-10. Like I said, the 10 points that I gave them, it took a lot for me to give them that. Because realistically, I don't think that they're going to do anything against us. This is a whole new offense for them as well. Matt Ryan has had consistency in his offensive plans for a long time. Now you don't have consistency at the head coach position. You don't have the consistency as you do with a Julio Jones. These are all basically new faces. Calvin Ridley obviously played a lot last year, but still second year. It's a second year. So Kyle Pitts is going to supposedly be a huge part of your offense. So he's brand new. So how much continuity do you have? I've complained about our team and how we haven't really been able to play together, but this isn't last year's Falcons. This isn't the year before that's Falcons. This is a whole new Falcons, just like it's a whole new Eagles. So with the things that I do know, it makes me more confident in my team. You know what I'm saying? It makes me more confident in my team. That's where I'm at. Hopefully the Falcons YouTube moderators don't kick me out of my own live again, but hey, I got it off. So it feels good. I got it off my chest. That's where we're at. So people in the comments, we got about 10 more minutes that we're going to be on here. I want to know what you guys think. Please start letting me know in the comments. Give me your score predictions. We'll react to them. We'll give you our thoughts. Who do you think is going to be the MVPs of the game, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm excited to know. Let me get through some of these let me just shout out to the channel members that are in here real quick. Yep, Curtis Pollard, I think that's a new name. I don't think that if you're a new member, shout out to you. Shout out to you for joining the membership. But he says, I'm hyped. We better win. Let's go Hurts. Big facts. Big facts. Taylor Bowers says Kyle Pitts is going to have a rookie game. I don't know if the hype is worth it, to be honest. We shall see. I agree. What do you think? Do you think that he's going to go off? Do you think we should be that worried?
In a sense, a little bit. I'm going to be realistic. Our team hasn't done well against tight ends, especially the linebackers last year. Now we do have some new linebackers. When we got more solidified, like Alex Singleton came on in the middle of last season. We have Eric Wilson now, and who's starting on the other side? Is it Jannard Avery or who's starting?
Yeah, Jannard Avery is what I saw. I don't know if that's what it's going to be, but that's what I read.
We have a whole new 3 starting linebacker core, so we'll see him with the zone defense. We'll see what's going to happen. But historically, especially as of last season, a lot of the big players from last season were tight ends against our defense. So, in a sense, kind of worried, not like worried that that's going to be the game breaker there. But if one of their players is going to eat, like if Slay's following Calvin Ridley and they figure we'll leave him alone, then I think Kyle Pitts has a chance. I mean, the guy can play down on the ground, like his hand in the ground, and then split out wide. So it's definitely going to be a test for our linebackers and safeties today, especially with Rodney McLeod also being out today.
Yeah, facts. And I'm telling you right now, bro, it's 15 minutes from game day, and you don't understand how hard it is for me to not just sit here and say F the Falcons. I want to go off right now. I'm hyped. Shout out to Drew Johnson. He said, been running around getting the kids ready. Need to set up the stream later. Fly Eagles fly. Philly fresh. Get well. Philly the podcast. Appreciate the grind. Let's go. And that is a very big fact. I'm glad somebody brought it up. Shout out to my guy Philly Fresh, aka the General. You know what I'm saying, man? He has been in the hospital for like the past 2 weeks, dealing with different, COVID and stuff. And it looks like he's coming back. It looks like he should be back today. So, God bless him, man. All our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to him, man. He's a great dude, man. So shout out to him, man. So your mom's boyfriend says 28-24. What was your score prediction? Did you give me a score prediction, Brandon?
Yeah, I talked to the people while the Falcon fans kicked you out. I said 17-14 Eagles.
You think it's that close?
Yeah.
You don't think we could score?
It's not that. It's just that I think it's the first game for both rookie coaches, both offenses that haven't had, like you said, the time to really mesh well. Like both are going into brand new, and the Eagles and Falcons have played each other tough throughout the last couple of years at least, and so they haven't been extremely high scoring. So could it be high scoring, kind of like how the Bucks and the Cowboys were? Sure, because it could be the opposite end. It could be the offenses on all cylinders and the defenses kind of figuring their stuff out. But I do think because of the last couple of years, I think it'll be a kind of like a score like that.
Yeah, my internet's trash. I don't know what's wrong with my internet. But anyways, I don't know what just happened.
So
go ahead, my bad.
What was I going to say? So obviously earlier I had picked Brandon Brooks and Steven Nelson, who I'm going to keep my eye on. Is there any players that you, by any chance, are going to be keeping your eye on?
Definitely my Lotta. I know you said it was the easy out, so I wasn't going to say anything afterwards, but that's my easy out. I'm definitely checking for my Lotta. I'm definitely checking for I feel like my internet's gonna cut out again, but we'll see. I'm definitely checking for my Lotta, and I'm definitely checking for whoever's gonna be the second safety. Realistically, I want to see, I think it might be Kayvon. We had Andrew DeCecco. He said he thinks it's going to be Marcus Epps. So I'm very intrigued to see who's going to be there. If it's going to be 3 different safeties, if they, use an extra cornerback. So that'll probably be my thing. Yeah, Taylor Bowers. As soon as right now, I'm looking at the time and I'm just like, I can't believe that we about to watch some football, y'all. We about to watch some football. Curtis Bowers said, "Yeah, I'm new. You the GOAT. You the GOAT, man. I appreciate you joining the family, bro. I appreciate you." He said you were froze with a peace sign for a cool 30 seconds. Hey, at least it was a peace sign. At least I looked good for a minute. We gonna get this better. As time goes, I'm trying to do a lot with this show now. So as time goes on, we'll figure out how to make it the best possible. Let me ask you this question. I know it's kind of random, but what are you looking at for fantasy? Is there any guys on the Eagles or Falcons team that you have in your fantasy teams?
Yeah, I have. I think in a couple of leagues I have Miles Sanders. I was able to pick him up in the 3rd round, and actually I think either in both or 3 of my leagues that I'm in, I was able to get him in the 3rd round. I think people are sleeping on him. I think a lot of people also took him in the 1st round last year, and it didn't work out for them. So people were hesitant. So I think that Miles Sanders, if given the opportunity with the screen passes and everything like that, like if they don't sub him out for passing downs or anything for like Kenneth Gainwell, I think was going to get more shine than Boston Scott, I think. But I do think that Miles Sanders is going to have a good game. And then obviously I want to see Devontae Smith have a decent game. If he even has like 5 catches for like 60 yards and a touchdown, that's a good outing.
That's huge.
That's a solid fantasy line right there. So
yeah,
I have him starting at least in one of my leagues. I have him starting. It's kind of just like I could play someone else like a Mike Williams or something, but it's like I kind of want to see what happens. I mean,
yeah,
I really
take in the dark. Take that shot in the dark. I think I have Jalen on one of my teams. I have Calvin on one of my teams, and I have Kyle Pitts on one of my teams. I don't think I have anybody else. I think everybody just kept sniping them for me. Like I think everybody took Miles a little early. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When they're playing your team, like when they're playing against the Eagles, it's crazy. Like you have like this, like I remember one time I went to a Jets game and I had Brandon Marshall on my team. We ended up beating the Jets, But like once Brandon Marshall scored a touchdown, I was like, boo. And then I was like, like I needed that. But like it's so hard. It's like a double-edged sword.
It really is. It gets you into the games, but it definitely makes you root for the wrong people at sometimes. Let's answer this before we get out of here, man. He says, what you think the stats are going to be for Hurts, Sanders, Dallas, and Devontae? Let's just do Hurts and Devontae, because I think that's like the main focus right now. So if you had to pick a stat line, what would you think that their stat line would be? And I would do the same.
Let's see. I know Swerve said he wanted Jalen to throw maybe 25 times or less. I think that might be a little bit too little. So I would go Jalen Hurts would go for like, let's say 23 of 31 for 280 yards passing. He said total yards, and that was including rushing. So I'm going to go 280 yards passing. And then Devontae Smith will have like 7 targets, 5 catches, and then I'll keep it with the 60 yards and a TD.
There you go. There you go. I'm going to say he's going to have rushing off rip. I think he'll have 5 rushes for like 40 yards. And then I think he'll have, I said on Twitter, like 24 of 28. I don't really believe that. I'm going to go probably like, you got to talk junk on Twitter. But, I'm going to go 24 of like, I'll stay around you. I'll say like 24 of 30, 32, somewhere around there. And then I will say he'll get about, I think he might go over 300, if I'm being honest. I think he might maybe go like 305, 310 passing. I think they're going to ask him to pass a lot. And I think these receivers are going to be asked to take the ball and do a lot with the ball. So I really think that he could have a huge game. Listen, man, we have 50 people in the chat. We are now 8 minutes away from Eagles football. It is about that time. So before we close out, I do want to give a huge shout out to everybody that helped me out with this. So obviously Raw Sports Talk for giving us the Raw report, giving us the bets. I want to thank Bird Gang 31, Tone to Shields for coming on and being part of the content creator spotlight. I also want to thank Swerve for the Sipping with Swerve segment. That was awesome. I want to thank both of the fans that sent in a video, Hunter Doyle and MG Nas. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate all the help. I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. Brandon, there's about 45 different people live right now. I want to let you know there's about like 45 different Eagles content creators live, and I'm sure a lot of Falcons guys as well. So the fact that we were able to keep around 50 people in here is an absolute blessing, absolute honor. We're going to continue to work on this. And obviously, thank you, Brandon, for helping me make this possible. But we are going to make this better. We're going to keep on growing with this pregame. But I think it's time that we give our final thoughts. Final word. I'll give you a minute or two, and then I'll take a minute or two, and we'll close this out. Brandon, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking going into this game, man?
I'm excited. This is what I said before. Now that the time's here, it's like now the butterflies are definitely in my stomach until kickoff. I know Papa Store, he asked who gets the first touchdown. I'm going to go ahead and say Miles Sanders will get our first touchdown. So I'm just excited about this game. It's all brand new. It's a new chapter. We can finally close that book on Carson Wentz, despite the fact that we're all going to be kind of having like that side eye on that score of the Colts game. But it's a new chapter, new coaches, new swag, new energy. Like, I'm excited about this. Hey, it's Eagle season, baby.
He said he got sent to the dungeon to watch the game since I got very pumped for the game. I respect it. It'd be like that. Listen, man, we have worked all off season to get to this point, right? I can sit here and complain about how we got here, some of the things that happened along the way. It was a bumpy ride, man. But listen, the Philadelphia Eagles work best under pressure. Philadelphia Eagles fans are best under doubt. When people sleep on us, that is when we wake up and we work the hardest. So I feel like this season is going to be a lot more fun than a lot of people are thinking. I think as an Eagles fan, you've fought to get to this point. If you are still a diehard Eagles fan through all that we have went through the past 4 or 5 years, I commend you, because it is tough. It is not easy to do this. It is not easy to consistently wake up to watch your team and pray for the best. And that's what we've done for the past couple years. But we are healthy. We are hungry, and we are here. It is time for the Philadelphia Eagles to do what we all have been waiting for, and that is to wake the NFL up. So in 5 minutes, the Philadelphia Eagles play the Atlanta Falcons. And in 5 minutes, me and Brandon will be shaking maybe with a beer in our hand, maybe with a, just a water or something. I don't know what you're doing over there, but we're going to be shaking and we're going to be nervous. We'll probably both do a separate, video, just kind of breaking down our thoughts on the game. We'll obviously be back tomorrow to talk about this. But listen, we got 50 people in here. Please be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. And other than that, Brandon, this feels good to say now that we actually have some football to go. Y'all know what it is. I'm ready for this, Brandon. I've been waiting for this outro. You ready, bro? I've been waiting for this outro. Y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here.
Peace! Guy with the Philadelphia
John
Eagles.
Dornbos here, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, we're just the Philadelphia Eagles.
Follow my guy Joe Castro on his YouTube/podcast channel.
Let's give a shout out to the Philly podcast.
And shout out Philly and my guy Joe Castro. So keep on doing great things, guys. Fly Eagles Fly.
Fly Eagles Fly.
Go Birds.